Oh, hi, this is Brian Heckney, instructor of Game and Interactive Media Design. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Before we move forward, I'm actually, with the arms, I'm going to extrude the neck out a little bit more and possibly add a little more detail to the tummy area. So, of course, I'm going to rename this to EP-torso. And I'm going to add another edit poly, because that's how I do things. I'm going to extrude this by going to W to move, Shift, drag this up a little bit. Let's go ahead and scale this and make it a little bit transparent. And into my left view over here, scale this. And of course, move it. And I think before I do that, though, I've kind of got this part of my back here. And we do have a little crease in our back, so I'm not too worried about that right yet. I do want to make sure, though, that once it gets up to here, that my neck doesn't have a crease in it, because that doesn't make sense. Okay, I'm just going to move them a little bit more like that. Now, of course, these are a little bit... There, I'm just going to make these a little bit more circular. Okay. I'm going to go into my top view and just look at how this looks as a circle. Move them a little bit. Okay. Not much. And now I'm going to go back into my front view. And now I can shift drag this up. There's a neck. And of course, in every view, make sure that I've got it rotated properly. He is a little off-center. That's what we're going to have to deal with. All right, now I want to add a little bit more of my belly here, so I'm going to add a swift loop there, swift loop here, and then go ahead and scale those. Actually, that's fine the way it is. Do I need to rotate it? Not really. It's nice the way it is, and then the other one I added was here. There. This guy can scale in just a little bit and move. And this needs to be just moved here. I'm going to move all of these verts. Not too much. Okay, there. Looks a little bit better. Okay, there's a neck going. We're going to save the neck here. Now, we're not going to get into head modeling. It's pretty insane to model some heads, and it's beyond the scope of the amount of time we have left. Just getting this idea of how to model a body down will allow you to tackle like the Pueblo character that I have, and just feeling good about your own body modeling, right, before we even get to the head. Alright, but let's talk a little bit about the shoulders. I'm going to rename this to EP neck, and I'm going to add another edit poly. Front view. And what we're going to do is delete these 4 here. These 4. Just like we deleted the 4 on the inside of the leg, we're going to delete 4 here. And we are going to use now the border tool, which we haven't, I don't think we've used the border tool yet. When you use the border tool, you can select the open portion that's there. So there's the border. And I'm going to shift drag this out. Now this is a much better geometry for shoulders than a T-pose would have been. So a T-pose, you would have wanted to, if the arms were straight out across, the mesh the way you would have made this would have been a little bit more difficult for animating the arms down. And so we're going to do this, it's just a little better this way. I'm also going to come down here and say, you know what, set X so that, or make planar in the X direction again, just like we did previously. And I'm going to rotate this, whoops, not that way, no, 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 only along this axis. And move it here. I'm going to now kind of tuck these guys in as well. Let me kind of scale this a little bit here. And see, we've got some weird overlapping geometry still, so it is a little bit difficult in this section. I'm going to move this in. Let's see how this is actually looking. The other thing we're going to want to do is select from the left view and move them a little bit like that, only in the XY position. To make this a little bit more of a circle. There. Okay, so I actually am going to now start the arms, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select these 4 pieces from the arm, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and delete them. And the next thing I'm going to do is select the, whatever this is called, the, come on, border, and I'm gonna hit make planar in the X direction and move it outward to about here. No, I'm sorry, I am not going to do that. I'm going to hit Control-Z, 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 Control-Z. And instead I'm going to actually remove the geometry here. I'm going to select these verts here. Oh no, I know what I was going to do. Sorry, I am going to, in real time. Oh no, I didn't add an edit poly. Okay, I hope I can go back, go back, go back. Good. What I wanted to do is add an edit poly. Sorry about that. And from there, I'm going to actually move the geometry around before I delete the arms. So what I'm going to do is select right here where the chest is and move this outward. And I'm going to be forming the shoulders here. Roughly like that. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is now I'm going to select these 4 polygons here, and I'm going to delete them, and I'm going to manipulate them a little bit more. I'm going to select this vert and move it over here a little bit. I'm going to select this vert, move it over here. I'm going to select these verts and kind of make this a little bit more into my arm here, and I'm going to select this vert, bring it over here a little bit more, and I'm just kind of reforming where that shoulder is going to be coming out of this torso, or this body. And I'm going to go ahead and move that. And so it's really going to be protruding out of here. And it's going to come out somewhat circularly. Okay. And I'm going to continue. I can kind of change this geometry as I move forward in my modeling, but I'm going to keep it like that. There we go. And from there, I'm going to, let's go ahead and move this down a little bit like that. And I'm going to select that border and extrude it outward. And this time I will go ahead and X-align it and rotate it and move it to about there. And again, scaling it, rotating it, and scaling it. Rotate, whoops, not on that axis. Rotating it and scaling it. I'm going to add more here, by the way, just in case you're getting a little worried. And the other thing I'm going to do is make sure I'm moving it in this view as well. Scaling it out like this. It's going to start protruding into our image, which is going to happen. Oh well. I've got to make this one right here, so I'm going to go to Swift Loop, Shift to that, and then of course scale this in that direction, move it, scale it slightly, move it like that. Alright. And then I'm going to keep, kind of look at that, and then I will go back and continue scaling the arm out. And here I've got to figure it out in the right mode, or the left mode, and the front mode. I'm just going to go ahead and get the middle of that elbow so I can get that. It's starting to get pretty complicated in terms of the image itself because I have the arm along the same area as the body now. Oop. And I'm going to make sure that is in my right viewport, exactly where I want it to be. There. And of course I'm going to use Swift Loop to add more of these. I'm going to stop this here for now and pick it up in the next video.